plaintiff, Linda Cost, says her daughter met the defendant in a battered women's shelter, and they decided to rent an apartment together. After they moved in, Linda's daughter discovered the defendant was promiscuous, and their landlord suspected she was a prostitute. Linda is suing for breach of contract. Defendant Brittany Biter says the only reason she's in court is because after she got a boyfriend, she could no longer babysit for Linda's daughter, so she could go out to the bars and pick up random men. Brittany insists Linda is suing her prematurely.
Tell me what's going on.
I met the defendant Brittany through my daughter Amber, who is also my witness.
Okay.
They were both at a shelter for battered women. Then they eventually got an apartment together, and that's when we saw the real Brittany. She was promiscuous. She was on the verge of getting an eviction from the landlord for possible prostitution. My daughter knows.
What do you know about the prostitution? And where do you get this information
just
about?
what the landlord said.
This daughter lifted her hand. You understand, ma'am?
Yes.
State your name.
Amber Cost. I was the one that obviously lived with Miss Biter. The landlord did state that she was going to give Brittany a 72-hour notice because there were so many men on a regular basis, sometimes more than one in a day, sometimes coming in at 4 o'clock in the morning, and she truly suspected Brittany of being a prostitute.
And you all stayed together?
We had the same apartment, yes.
How did they know who the men were coming to see?
Because we had separate entrances to our rooms.
To your rooms?
Yes.
From the outside?
Yes.
Okay.
We had different stairwells.
Okay. And from the outside, you had two different entrances?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
And did they indeed evict her?
No, because myself and our downstairs neighbor assured the landlord that she was not, in fact, a prostitute.
Okay. Ma'am, did your daughter assured you that she wasn't? You still around here talking about it? Your daughter didn't tell you she not. Yes.
I think it's more of to base on character.
What character?
On Brittany's character.
Tell me what made the landlord think she was a prostitute, because she had a lot of men?
She had men in and out all the time. She's a manipulator. She's, when she thinks it's to her benefit, she'll suddenly have a southern drawl if there's a man around or she thinks she's in some kind of trouble.
Okay, but how does the landlord know all this?
Well, because she's spoken with her on a regular basis from the time that Brittany lived there.
And Brittany changed her voice on the landlord?
She changes her voice on a regular basis.
On the landlord?
Yes.
That's not prostitution, that's crazy.
But that's
She's just crazy.
If I may say, the one reason that I do bring that up is because she tends to project her behaviors on other people. And so I know today she's probably going to say a lot of things about me, and that's okay. But generally what she does say about me, because she also went around telling people that the landlord thought I was a prostitute, which was not the case because I still live there and I've never had a problem with the landlord.
She doesn't live there anymore?
No, she was evicted for non-payment.
Really?
No, I was not evicted.
Yes, there was a 72-hour notice on her door.
That's proof that she wasn't prostituting, isn't it? She couldn't pay her rent. Go ahead. Either that or she didn't charge enough.
Very good at it, maybe.
You should up that price and still be living there.
Apparently so.
Go ahead. You tell me. Give me some background, ma'am, on your association with the plaintiff. I'm sorry, with the plaintiff's witness. And then we'll get to the breach of contract that the plaintiff is suing you about.
You know, I feel that Linda is a very sweet and charitable woman, and I actually love her as a person. The only reason that we're here is because in August, I got a boyfriend, and I wasn't coming home to take care of Amber's children when she was going out and getting drunk, or staying home and getting drunk and bringing home men from the bar and men she met online. And
so who had the most men?
And Brittany Biter rented an apartment with the plaintiff's daughter, who claims their landlord suspected Brittany was a prostitute.
She said you had a bunch of men running in and out. You say the same thing about her.
I can honestly say that I probably had a few men, but most of them were gay, seeing as all my friends are gay.
She was saying it to suggest that you were having sex with all these men.
I understand that.
Now, who had the most men for that purpose?
I wasn't keeping a tally.
Well, you sound like you were.
I'd have to say,
you sound like you were. She'd get drunk, and then she'd bring them home. And sometimes she never even went to the club. She just started up at home.
I would definitely have to say Miss Cost had more
I wouldn't say that.
callers
All
than
right.
I did.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I say
Yes.
one thing? This rental, the agreement for the rent was written out on August 4th. She didn't get a boyfriend until the end of August.
Okay.
So I don't know
That's-
how one has anything to do with the other. She had an agreement to pay it back by September 5th, which she didn't. And
Well,
my mother
no. You all have bashed her reputation, calling her a prostitute, a promiscuous woman, and then when she tried to defend herself, said, "No, Your Honor, I had a boyfriend. I didn't do all this at all." What does that have to do with it? It has everything to do with it. Let's get to the lawsuit, ma'am. You're suing her for $360. How did she breach a contract with you?
I loaned her $360 on August 5th.
Okay.
4th, I'm sorry, because she was being threatened with eviction for non-payment, and she said that she had to have the money by the next day. So her and my daughter came out to where I was living, and I loaned Brittany $360. My daughter had the foresight to get Brittany to sign a promissory note.
Good. You have that with you?
I have it with me
There,
now.
please.
Your Honor.
I
Thank
tried
you.
several
Let her
times
finish.
to
Pardon me?
contact Brittany when the due date had gone by. I gave her 3 extensions. And at the third one, I told her, this was on, I believe, a Saturday, you have until noon Monday. If I haven't got my money by noon Monday.
Why you pick noon, ma'am? That sounds like the Cowboys.
It gives her time to go to the bank or borrow money. She's already
okay.
had plenty of opportunity.
Okay, all right,
And
so
I
she would have-
loaned her the money in good
Okay,
faith.
so she can-
And I expected it back.
The noon was because she'd have time to go to the bank. All
It would
right.
also give me
That's what-
time to go to the courthouse and file my claim against her.
Okay, all right, I got it. It just sounded odd. Yeah, but I have my money by noon. Else you know what it's going to be. All right, ma'am. Ma'am, what do you say?
Absolutely. She did loan me the money out of the goodness of her heart. And at that time, I was waiting on student loan money. I am a math major at Road Community College.
A math major.
Mathematics.
Oh, math. So I thought they got classes now. Cooking up meth. Go ahead.
Some things happened and I ended up not getting my money for last term or this term, my loan money. I have to pay for my class this term myself. She did not contact me. Amber contacted me and I have those text messages right here
Let's see 'em.
threatening
What do they
to
say?
beat me up and pay my mother by this time or
Okay.
Your Honor, I never
I-
threatened to beat her up.
All right. Go
I
ahead.
spoke to Linda on speakerphone with the people I am currently staying with, and I have a witness affidavit of that.
Saying what?
The last highlighted portion.
Saying what?
Saying that I did not have the money. I wasn't going to have the money until January when I got my student loan money back, and if that was acceptable
Okay,
to
this
her.
is a witness, this thing.
Yes, sir.
All right, I thought it was
She
the
was
actual.
on speakerphone.
Okay. all right.
And I
But
told
I would rather rely on the text here. I know someone is about to rake your over the coals. If you don't pay my mom back ASAP, we will file suit Monday morning. You'll get no heads up and what's going to happen to you. Your choice. You're such a lowlife. You have 24 hours to pay my mom or you are another cowboy move. Yeah, 24 hours. No, that's mafia. Mafia give you 24 hours. Cowboys give you to noon. All right, you have 24 hours. I have a lot more info. I have a lot more info on you than you think.
Your Honor.
All right, I could interpret this as threatening because she did say that we will file a lawsuit.
Defendant Brittany Biter rented an apartment with a plaintiff's daughter, who claims their landlord suspected Brittany was a prostitute.
She didn't threaten physical harm necessarily. She threatened civil action in a very colorful way, but nonetheless, you're not countersuing her. That's not what the case is about. It's about this $360, and you say you haven't been able to pay because of your financial aid has been altered, and you did give her an extension or two?
3.
3. What else you want?
well,
What is your legal defense? I understand.
My
My moral defense is I couldn't pay because of school. What's your legal defense?
My legal defense is I have every intention of paying Linda in January, as we spoke about on the phone, because that's when I can pay her. She did loan me the money, and I do owe it to her.
So your
and she'll
legal
have it in
defense would
January.
be that she gave you an extension on the repayment.
Yes, sir.
And unfortunately, an agreement put in writing can only be changed in writing, can't be changed verbally. That's called the parole evidence rule. That's a theory under contracts saying that if you're going to give an extension or you're going to reduce the amount, it must all be in writing.
Yes,
So
sir.
you don't have that, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. $360 is your judgment, ma'am. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm glad she's out of my life. I don't ever want her back in my life. She's a train wreck. And I know better than to trust anybody like her ever again. The Georgia Peach Bowl is not going to fly with me.
You know, I think that Linda is an amazing person, and I hope that this ends the text messages and I don't have to change my phone number anymore.